are supported to open up offices in 8 places and having our central office at Lubaga, Chisonkole Close. That's where our national offices are. We also have regional offices for Kampala at a school called St. Elizabeth. That's where it is located. So basically we do a lot of things. When this economy was opened in the past, there were not very many vocational institutions. But when the economy was opened up, very many vocational institutions came up, and through that association, we decided to work together, to lobby together, to see how we can develop together, and that is basically how the association started. Our mission basically is to build a strong bedrock for pedagogical concerns to work together as associations, because we do the same thing. Then our mission is to enhance unity and development and provide facilities for collaboration. We collaborate with the institutions here, but even institutions out-driven employment. You know, in Uganda we have a problem of employment. People don't have jobs, but the issue is, do we have the right skills for the jobs that we want to take over? So we are saying that let us get together, have standardized training, so that is we have a standard exam, so that we have quality workers that will maybe strengthen our economy. Then we also want to mediate and interface between our member organizations and government. You know, many times we need to work with the government. We are a private association, but we need to work a lot with government. Though we have almost 70% of the students who do vocational education are in private institutions. Government only has like 30%. So basically, main of the work is with us, and you find a vocational institution all over the place you go to. So because of the challenges of starting a vocational institution and managing it, we need to lobby a lot for money, for funds, for furniture, for equipment to operate in a vocational institutions. And that is why we have very many partners. We have Enabel, we have the GIZ, and very many other partners who work within our institutions to make sure that we train properly and we come up with quality work. We also offer training for the management and staff of private vocational institutions, because we have a challenge. Many of the teachers trained in our country are not trained to teach in the vocational institutions. They are teachers taught at the university to teach subjects like maybe computer, subjects like cooking and hotel management, but that skill of becoming a teacher who is going to handle a person who is interested in a skill, that one is a unique thing. And that is why we need to work together, we need to lobby for support, we need to get a lot of training, and that is why one of our major objectives is to train teachers all over the country, instructors all over the country, to make sure that we come up with a good thing that will help promote vocational education into our country, and basically that will also improve the standards, because there are issues with standards. You get a person who has done hairdressing but cannot paint. You get a graduate who is a graduate in hotel management, but they cannot cook quality food. So we have to come in and say, how do we do it? With whom do we do it? That is why we came up together and said, no, everybody should not do it alone. You know, in the past, an institution could come up, get a affiliation or get a certificate from the National Council for Higher Education, then they award their on diplomas or certificates without having a single curriculum. Everybody would train whatever they want and then qualify and graduate people. But that was bringing in confusion So that is why we said, let us have an umbrella association, let us all train together. After training, we have our association, we have the Directorate of Industrial Training that will assess whoever we have trained. We also have the UBTEB, the Uganda Business Technical Education Board, that also assesses people for diploma. So that is why we had to come in to also develop and also commercialize customer-oriented services. It was very important. That is why we do that. Through our journey, we do a lot of things. We have had a lot of things. Now, as I talk, I have been involved in touring all over the country. Last week I was in Hoima, then the other week I was in Fort Portal, Kasese, trying to see and benchmark and make a needs assessment of how best we can do this service all over the country. So we tour and see hands-on, and we see what is happening down there, so that we come up with a needs assessment, we write, and then go to government or to other people, or even amongst ourselves, and see how we can promote vocational training in our country. We are involved into sports. We are involved, many times people in the secondary schools enjoy life and they get sports, drama, that kind of fun in their schools. But in the past, when people came to vocational schools, it was only skilling. So people would get bored and lost interest in vocational education. But as we talk now, as an association, we have started our own tournament supported by the Directorate of Industrial Training. So it's fun being in a vocational school. So all over the country, right now the competitions are going on through our chapters and our regions up to the national level. Because we have 8 regions, our country is divided into 8 regions. So we have 8 regional directors. Then we have a national chairman. I am the one sitting in right now. And then we have a national treasurer. We also have a national secretary. So those together with the regional directors make a board. And that board guides the association on what to do and when to do it. That is why we come up with a work plan for the association, and that work plan, like I have said, will have sports in our association. That work plan will have skills competitions in our association. That work plan will have teacher training all over, equipping our instructors in our schools. Amidst all that, there are challenges. Especially now, the attitude. People have a negative attitude towards vocational education. People think vocational education is for failures, and the trend has now changed, because now, like you can see, I can challenge you. When you go to Chiseka for a person to repair your car, or to Nabuga, wherever, you will find those people are from vocational institutions, not universities. Very few people will look for a mechanical engineer from the university to repair their vehicle. They will have a person who has skills from a vocational institution or a training center. That is why now the trend has changed. So we need to help people develop a positive attitude towards vocational education. Then also we have the issue of poverty. When people come to our institutions, they think that things here are supposed to be free. Like, people now are used to the presidential initiative, to whatever, where you go and get free services. So they tend to think that vocational education is free. No, vocational education is not free. It is expensive, and if we want quality vocational education, we should go to quality good schools. And that's why we are coming up with a database of quality identified schools where people can go and learn how to overcome their problems. Then secondly, we've had the challenge of COVID-19. Very many institutions have closed because institutions had debts and financial challenges. They couldn't make it after COVID. We had over 1,000 institutions have closed. The ones that I know, according to our database, very many institutions have closed. But government is coming in with some some assistance, especially through the Uganda Development Bank. They are giving out low interest loans to make sure that those ones that have not closed still operate, and I think that is a very good intervention. Other than COVID-19, we have a very high rate of dropout because we have young teenage girls and boys. There's a lot of pregnancy and other issues that make them drop out of school, but definitely we do a lot of counseling and guidance. We work with very many people to help guide these people on the best way to do things. Now, what do I want from you viewers? What do I want from other stakeholders in our sector? I want you people to change the attitude towards vocational education. I want you people to support people who are into vocational education with equipment, like some kind of donor funding. Then also to work together so that we get funding that can help us run these vocational institutions, so that the fee that we charge our students becomes a little minimal, so that we don't charge a lot of money. Then people will be able to afford, and then things will be fine. That is what I want to appeal. Then also I want to call upon other people who want to join to the sector to come and register with us and officially train the students of this country. Also, there is some very important thing. Government is intervention into our institutions. Of recent, there was a press release that all vocational technical institutions should register with the Ministry of Education, and those ones that were already registered should re-register, and we are required to pay a fee of 3 million shillings every institution. We found it a very big challenge because there are very many other conditions set to re-register our institutions. So we are appealing to government to sit with us as stakeholders to see how we can re-register and do the thing properly, because now institutions are crippled financially. Then we've got to pay that money through the UBTEB, our examining body. That is a lot of money. We are addressing it, and as I talk now, we have engaged the permanent secretary through the commissioners. We have put a petition, and we hope it will come out with very good results. For the time being, we are authorized to continue preparing ourselves for the registration, and we are halting the payment of that money until the negotiations are done. I think that is very good news, and I want to encourage the government to continue working with us, because we are stakeholders in this thing and we have the majority of the students. Then there is also a policy of government increasing salaries and promoting sciences. That is a very good thing. But in our technical vocational institutions, we are promoting that already. We are promoting sciences. People are doing mechanical engineering, people are doing electrical engineering. Those are sciences. So we want to call upon the government, as they increase people's salaries there. Also, us in private institutions, we are training people who are doing sciences and people who are very, very useful and very skillful into the sector. So we are saying, as we do this and as we train these other Ugandans who have not gone to government-funded schools, because government-funded schools are not even over 80 all over the country, and not everybody else can go there. We are telling them, please work with us. Let us skill these scientists so that we come up with a very, very, very good results. As a way forward in our association, what we have done, we are developing area hubs. We are developing hubs. We are saying in each region we should have an center of excellence. We say if it is motor vehicle, schools around a certain region should have a center of excellence where they can go and benchmark on the best way to do it. That is one way we have done to improve on this thing. Then another thing, through our directors, we are retraining all our teachers on the modern ways of doing things. For example, as we talk now, we have electric cars. In the past, we had manual cars before even the automated cars came in. So a teacher who trained 20 years ago trained with a manual car. Then before he settles, and a car comes and it is automatic. Then as we sort out and learn more about automatic cars, then electric cars come in. So we are saying, how do we handle this together with our tutors? How do we handle it? That is why we need to skill and reskill and reskill every other time. So the association has come up with a work plan for all over the country to have trainings all over Uganda in different regions to make sure that we reskill our teachers. Then also we are working with very many other organizations like Enabel, like again we are back to GIZ, like Sense International, very many organizations that are helping us equip our teachers. And in any case, many times the students who cannot afford to come at our institutions are given some kind of assistance or a bursary to come and learn at our institutions, which I think is a very good thing, and I want to recommend government for that. Then another issue is borrowing money. Many of the institutions have collapsed because they have got commercial banks to borrow money. The interest rate there is a little bit high. So through our intervention, we went to the government and told them, no, institutions are collapsing because of the charges, interest charges on the loans that we acquired. Government advised us to go to UDB. There is a fund for UDB. So at 12% per annum, which is a little low, an institution can get money and develop. And basically, what we want now that many times the intake, the students' population in our institutions is low, we are encouraging institutions to get involved in training with the production. Training with the production is where you have a training for carpenters, but at the same time you come up with quality chairs, quality desks, you display them somewhere, and then people buy, so that you buy the equipment, which is very expensive, to retrain the students. We are saying, if you're teaching catering and hotel management, at least have a restaurant where your people will do internship, where we can do apprenticeship, so that we develop this thing. If you are doing, say for instance, hairdressing, why don't you have a salon as an institution, so that as people learn to paint, they can get experience painting people from outside, and in any case, those ones who are already skilled can make some little money. I believe if we encourage and put a lot of emphasis on training with the production, then institutions will stand. Because institutions now, we are standing on the fees collection, which is very little. But through training with the production, we strongly believe that institutions will do a lot. If you do tailoring inside your school, then have a display, have a boutique somewhere, so that people can come and buy. And I am very grateful that institutions have taken up this, including the institutions where we are. We had a perimeter wall to cover ourselves inside. Then we realized, no, the perimeter wall is not good enough. Let us use the perimeter wall. We bring it down. We put shops, display areas, so that people even passing by the road can see what we do and buy. And that is what is being done everywhere. Schools in Kabale have done the same. I was in Hoima, schools have done the same, and I believe this is going to come out and help institutions a lot. But all the same, we are also getting our students involved in work, because they can't afford fees. So if you cannot afford fees, why don't we make the bricks together that are going to build a workshop? So we are skilling them in brick making, but at the same time make the bricks with them. Then the building department can build a building together with a few engineers, so that we bring the costs down, so that we make learning interesting, and I believe that is going to help us a lot. Our work plan involves a lot of things. We also intend to go to other countries and learn and benchmark. We will go to Rwanda, we will go to Kenya, we'll go to Norway, we'll go to other European countries to see how best they are doing it, and we have started the journey. As I talk now, we have volunteers from Japan. They are changing a lot of things in our sector. We have volunteers from Germany. They are going into our institutions, and we have solicited for them. I believe that is going to do a lot, and it's going to help us a lot in what we are doing. I want to thank the viewers for having given us this time to learn more and know our journey from when we started in 1998 to where we are. I want to thank the people who have been managing this association since 1998 to date. I want to thank government and everybody who has helped us develop this association, and I want to encourage everybody to come and work with us, because it is interesting to get involved into training these young people. We are located at Kisosonkole Close, that is Mengo opposite KCCA office at Rubaga. There is a close called Kisosonkole. Down there near the Sudanese school, that's where our head office is, and our regional offices are at St. Elizabeth, still opposite Kampala State Council Rubaga offices, but still we have offices all over the country. All the 8 regions have different offices that serve the people involved into our sector. I want to thank you for listening, and I want to encourage you to take on vocational education as a way of developing our economy. Thank you very much.
UBC, inspiring Uganda.